Steve. Keep going.
Did you leave? That was all a bit Vernon Reid. Are you back?
I had to pee. Oh, did we end it?
You did. You killed it with your little old Bic lighter there.
Hell, the damn thing's 19 minutes long and didn't take me that long to pee.
Well, you chopped like the first 9 minutes off or something, don't you?
Well, I chopped the first 4 or 5 minutes off because it's wait for the drums to kick in. It's like, okay, come on.
Are you of the Dave Grohl school? I don't mean as in like, you know, having children out of wedlock. I mean, the don't bore us, get to the chorus bit.
I'd get to the verse. Get to the first verse, kind of. Okay, enough with the ambient. Here's some drums. Something.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
So apparently John's having, he's got to make some beanie weenies or something. And
the beaners and weens.
yeah, he's making dinner, which means he's shoving the Totinos in the oven. So, or some.
The Tostitos?
Some pizza, Hot Pocket or whatever that. I tried one of those finally. That thing sucked, man.
A pizza pop thing? Yeah.
Why am I, no, there we go. Sorry, this computer stuff confuses me sometimes.
I don't blame you. Well, I do actually.
So what's new? Anything new? There's something about GTU. Ryan called it University. I'm not sure.
I've heard something about this. It's going to be really freaking good, I think.
Oh, apparently it's, I'm sorry, a fried hot dog, actually.
Doesn't it stand for Get Two Underwears?
Somebody said, get the ukulele or something.
I've got one of those. I'll go get it.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, because like I'm a complete bloody snob, so I have a ukulele, but of course it is handmade out of solid color.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Now I heard that nowadays, well, I don't know, for the last 20 years or so, the only koa they can get are from trees that were felled by nature.
Yep. Yeah, there's a complete, like, what do they call it, moratorium or
right.
embargo. The interesting thing is that there are many companies now using Australian blackwood because it looks exactly like koa, sounds exactly like koa, but grows about 3 times faster.
Oh, wow.
And it had been already adopted by the furniture industry. Like 20 plus years ago, and then the guitar companies kind of tuned in about 10 years ago.
And have you heard any gossip about Gibson? I'm starting to hear a little gossip.
I heard the headstock fell off or something.
No, seriously. Somebody got fired or something of Gibson, and
from Gibson, that never happens. Sometimes, always.
And Gibson might be.
Hey, there's Randy Price in the
selling or something.
Again.
Yeah, exactly. If anybody wants to come in and play some guitar, there's the rink. This GTU. I heard something. It's apparently coming soon in the next couple of weeks, maybe, or something.
It sounds pretty cool from what I've heard. So yeah,
you've got a really noisy whammy bar.
It's my ring, actually.
Oh.
Actually, so the one that I normally do this with also does on this guitar. Hit the bar a bit hard, but
I did the thing where I wore some cheap bracelets and but I never.
Yeah, actually, Randy makes a good comment. Is it? Well, did they fire Randall, or was it just like, you should leave or we'll fire you? And he was
probably,
like, yeah, I'll leave.
Yeah. I'm going to retire.
Sue you.
Yeah.
Well,
I think, is it Cesar or somebody? I don't know. Oh, God.
The dog whisperer? I
guess. You know a guy that can fix that? But I could never wear like a watch or bracelet, anything on my right hand. Because when you're playing live, it's just, you're too exaggerated.
You never owned a Rolex then?
You're too exaggerated, and I don't want to hit shit with my...
Oh, no, I'll wear bracelets. It depends what guitar I'm playing too. If it's one that I absolutely don't give a rat's ass about the finish, I'll wear whatever. I don't care. Yeah, I mean, I've got a pair of handcuffs that I wear around my wrist and stuff like that sometimes.
I did wear a wedding band. Well, I wasn't married, but it was pretty much a wedding band. And
have you noticed how when it comes to wedding bands, obviously I'll demonstrate this on my right hand, but have you noticed how, like, when you see guys who are newly married, you can always tell they're newly married because they'll be standing like at a bus stop and they're kind of doing this.
Yeah.
They're spinning the ring. And I think what it is, they're trying to work out the combination to get it off. But...
Yeah, I heard a big thing with, I think it was Michael Soldano, maybe, where he's like, yeah, he stole his whatever front end design or something. Just, yeah.
Well, I mean, let's face it, they're all bloody based on
a Fender,
a Bassman. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, God, Jim Marshall and Ken Brann. They used to sit in the back of his drum shop with basically a chassis that, was based on a Bassman. And they just used to cut components out, and put different components on in.
Right.
And if they liked the sound of it, they wrote it down and remembered it. And if they hated the sound of it or it just burst into flames, they didn't do it again. And that was, they knew nothing about what they were doing. They just constantly swapped stuff out.
Wow.
Until it did what they liked, and then they let people like Pete Townsend fuck with it, and the first cabs they made were 8x12s, right?
Yeah, and the
roadies complained, so that they cut them in half. Yeah,
like the fuck.
Yeah.
812s.
Well, I've had some 8x10s over the years. Do you remember the band Zodiac Mind Warp and the Love Reaction?
Oh,
They had that crazy thing, Prime Mover.
I'd have to hear it. I don't.
If you heard it, you go, oh yeah, that thing. I, for some reason, ended up with two JCM 800 style 8x10s that were custom made for the guitar player in that band for their videos. And they were cool. They sounded great. I had an old 8x10 at one point, which I wish I'd never got rid of. But they're bitches to move around.
Well, I had those Road Ready Boogie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they had, when I first got them, I got them from the guy. Remember the guy who rubbed his buttocks on my Hyundai?
Personally, no.
There's a video. Trust me, there's a video of 3 a.m, him laughing his ass off, and
Literally.
he pulls his pants down and rubs his buttocks all over the side of my Hyundai. Anyway, I worked with him at a couple of music stores, and he had got them cabinets from him, and they had the pop-out casters, which sucked. So
because you'd pick them up to go up a curb and they'd all fall out.
I got the $90. They were these big plates that slid in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they only sucked a little bit less. That's why I turned my cabinets on their side, which I thought looked kind of cool because some buddies of mine did that with their Marshalls.
Mm-hmm.
And but those things, I could not lift one on top of the other. I always had to get the bass player or somebody to help me.
Yep.
But to get them down, you just kind of grab them and pull them into you and let them hit the fucking floor. Boom!
Well,
and there you go.
I had some. Oh God, I'm gonna drop the names because all my stories I can drop names. So
Right.
I had some custom made Kitty Hawk 4x12s.
I remember those.
They were made out of 1-inch thick Paduke.
Oh, wow.
They were incredible. They sounded crazy.
Wow.
The 4 that I had were made for Key Marcello, from Europe.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as you plugged in, you automatically played the solo from the Final Countdown. It was really weird.
Well, Red Beach.
They were heavy. And Red Beach also used them as well. And so, I used to have a full Kitty Hawk rig.
Were they American?
German.
Were they German?
German. The Roy brothers, or, ROY brothers, they actually got a cease and desist from Dumble because their very first amp, the M1, was so bang on for like an overdrive special or whatever they were called. That Howard felt the need to
Oh, wow.
tell them to stop.
Rick
And
Emmett.
they made their own transformers and everything. They were an interesting company. So yeah. And I still have a ton of Kitty Hawk stuff. I still got a lot of the rack stuff. I still got a Quattro preamp and stuff.
Wow.
It needs
shit.
recapping. It's showing its age, but it's getting a bit old. But
Now, I used to MP1 for years because, didn't everybody have an MP1?
I had several.
Yeah.
I had one with the 88 Depot 3-tube mod, so it had the 312 AX7s in it, and all the higher grade caps. It sounded great. And the funny thing was when you bought the kit to do it, all their things had pros and cons. So I said, pro gives you Kirk Hammett's lead tone, and then it said con gives you Kirk Hammett's lead tone.
Oh.
And it actually it didn't, and it was pretty cool because it had way more gain than the original one, like ridiculous amounts of gain, and because of all the upgraded components, it was less noisy.
Yeah, I definitely had to have a Hush 2C with it. It was, but I didn't have to I never hit the front end with the tube screamer or anything.
Just straight in. And I like the chorus that was in it too.
And then they came out with the MP2 and
I had one and I did not like it anywhere near as much.
I hated it. Thank you. It's like
with the bass ones, the MB2 was cool. Like it really did sound good. You could do at the time, you could do all the Les Claypool tones and all that sort of weird stuff. The MB2 was great. The MP2, not so much.
Then they came out with their cab simulator, something. They tried and they were ahead of their game there. And But it's crazy how a product can rule the world. I mean, everybody had them fucking things, and then a few, 5, 7 years, they were done.
Well, and I got a couple of rare preamps. I've got it's made by another German company called XF, EXEF, like obviously effects backwards, right? And it was what they called MIDI accessible tube preamp. So like the Kitty Hawk Quattro, it had 4 12AX7s in it, so double the tube complement that like an MP1 had and everything. But you couldn't MIDI program it, but it had 100 channels.
How do you
So
up and down?
You could scroll through it. So on the front panel was a knob that gave you like 15 of them.
Yeah.
But as soon as you plugged a MIDI board into it, you could go through it. But because my rig was based fully MIDI, so I had MIDI patch bays, I could MIDI map that preamp.
Right.
So I could tell the patch bay to send, I want patch 15 or I want patch 24 or whatever it was.
Right.
And there was some deadly tones in that. And I've still got one of those. And again, a bit like my Quattro, it's showing its age. It's nearly 40 years old. And
I had...
it's noisy. It's noisy.
at times, I used, of course, the Quadriverb, the 256 XL. Remember the Digitech?
Yeah, I got a few of them.
And then I had a Rocktron Pro Q and the IntelliFX, the real one, the old school one. And that was some of the best tones I fucking ever had. Was that IntelliFX was so good.
I got a Prophecy of the Rocktron stuff. The only stuff I've got left, I've got a Prophecy 2.
John's gonna go smoke a doobie. He'll be in 10. Okay.
Yeah, or drop a dookie, one of the two. Drop a dookie to the left hand side.
But I had just the regular MC one, the full controller.
Yeah. I've still got 2 of them. I love them. The 10 buttons in a row is so nice. Yeah.
I could do all the mid. I have such a hard time with programming stuff, but I could do all the MIDI mapping. It was so easy.
Yeah. Well, so my rack, when it got to its most ridiculous, and it was a combination of like you say, Kitty Hawk, Line 6, you name it, and I've got a Carvin Quad X preamp as well.
Oh God.
So I got all these different preamps. So I then had a Kitty Hawk, what they call a MIDI patch bayette, and I've got 2 versions of it. One is all mono loops that are MIDI switchable. So kind of like a ground control idea. So you can put whatever, you can put a rack unit in it, you can put a stomp box in it.
I had a ground control too.
And then turn the loops on and off. But they also do a thing called oh God, I've forgotten the name. There's 2 mixers. There's a passive mixer where it's just lots of knobs on the front. So it's like a line mixer, but stereo. But they did a MIDI controlled programmable mixer. So you could mix your left and right levels and your dry mixes as well.
Really?
And there was 6 stereo channels in it. So all of the preamps would go through one of the mono patch bayettes and just get turned on and off in and out of the signal path. And then that output would go to the stereo one. And then in each one of the stereo loops, I had a different harmonizer with its own effects chain afterwards.
Oh my God.
So I was using Digitech IPS 33Bs, DHP 55s, and Studio 5000s. And then they all had 256 XLs or or Studio Quads or the TRS 24s.
I had the old. I didn't use it for long. I think it was DOD. It was a harmonizer, but it was a separate. It was a 2 space and then a separate 1 space. I don't remember what it was, but you got a rack. You got to start throwing shit in there, right?
Was that the old ADA pitch track?
No, it was the DOD.
It was a DOD. Okay, all right.
No, what's it called? A pitch track? It wasn't the ADA version.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Because I remember that was goofy in some way, but I never had one. But I remember.
No, this thing was two separate pieces, a
Okay.
2 space and then a separate 1 space, and it was like, yeah.
So then, having gone through all the stereo stuff with the harmonizers, it then goes to an actual physical patch bay. And then that connects to my hand-controlled effects. So things like Chaos Pads. I've got
Oh, wow.
Alesis Air Effects. The Air Effects is cool. Like, it was a D-beam, like, dome.
Yeah.
So you could literally put your headstock over it and change the flanger as you were playing.
Wow.
Or you could literally put your hand over it and then just move your middle finger and it would change things. It was crazy. And I also had Alesis made these units called the Mod Effects units. There were 7 of them, and they actually connected with SCSI connectors.
Oh my God.
So that you could literally just snap them all together and have them on a board, and you could turn them on and off with your fingers. But they would
Go ahead.
They would like automatically beat sync and all that sort of stuff. So whatever you were doing, your delay repeats and everything, these Alesis things would lock into it. So it was like so trippy, and they're all stereo and all that sort of stuff. Then it would go back into the rack, and then it would go to the power amps. So it went to the main rack had a Digitech DSP 5, no, Decca 528 in the bottom. So the 500 watt 250 a side power amp. And then after that, there was a PV Cosmos with the subharmonic generator.
Yep.
And that went to a separate Decca 528 running bridged mono, which went into the other ones went to a straight pair of Laney 412s.
Damn, you had issues, bro.
Yeah, I did. And then the subharmonic output of the Cosmos went to its separate power amp and went to, I actually had a JCM 800 bass 412, and it was like 50% deeper and all fully ported. Right. And it had the Celestion Sidewinder 150s in it. So 600 watt cab. And that produced frequencies you didn't so much hear as feel.
Yeah.
And so you had it was kind of like a wet, dry, wet, but it was like normal frequencies and then just spleen liquefying frequencies in the middle kind of thing. And it was outrageously wonderful. But I needed 2 128 patch MIDI boards to control it.
Oh, wow. Damn.
So one was patching the whole thing, and another one was presetting all the harmonizers, keys, and that sort of stuff.
My last band, I had the 12 space with I had an MP1, and just wound up selling it all. I got that 50 watt Great Blue Voodoo, a Tube Screamer, Crybaby, and I just used a Tube Screamer for solos. So I was basically front of the amp, 2 channels, dual reverbs, and I had an old SPX 90 that I had in the loop. Right. It sat in a 2 space rack behind my cabinets because that's usually for one delay setting. And I would just turn my loop on and off on the board, right? But I love the old SPX 90. It's just that changing presets was so slow.
Well, that was the beauty of this Kitty Hawk stereo mixer, was the fact that it enabled you to blend in dry signal as much as you wanted. So if you had a unit that had to kind of, there was that like sort of, some of these units had like 10, 20, 30 millisecond lag as you patch changed.
The MP1 was fast as fuck.
Yeah, the MP1 was fine, but I'm thinking more like the harmonizers, the multi-effects, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So the Kitty Hawk, because it had the dry mix there, if you had an effects unit where you were loading a patch that had a crazy algorithm and it was a little slow, at least you had a dry signal before the effects kicked in, Well,
my IntelliFX had that spillover, but...
Yep.
And I had my old SDE 1000 that I could still, my favorite 360 millisecond. But you learn to kind of, hit a note or whatever, hit the button, and you learn to deal with your changes. But the MP1 and the IntelliFX were so fast.
Yeah. I've still got, what have I got from Rockdrum? I still got, like I say, a Prophecy 2 and a Pro Gap.
A Pro Gap. Yep, I remember those.
Yeah. And I've still got my juice extractor.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, the Allen Holdsworth one. Hey, Jono.
My brothers, haven't seen you guys for a while.
Well, apparently something new is coming. I'm not going to say I heard about it, but apparently there's a hashtag GTU or something like that. Apparently, is
Hash Brown GTU.
hash brown.
What's this? What? Who?
Number?
Pound.
What's coming?
Something in the works.
For you?
Maybe.
Awesome.
Yeah. We don't know what we're doing yet, so we're keeping quiet about it. But yeah, it's happening.
Very nice to see you boys.
Yeah, you too. What didn't you like about Line 6 effects? Which ones?
Well, I had the original pod.
Yeah.
The one that... what was the one that you could get after the pod? It was, you could get it in a 2-space rack thing.
Well, there was the Pod Pro, which was the same as the
red one?
the Kidney Bean 2.0, but just in a rack.
That's
But then there was what was the next one? That was the, oh God, Pod GT?
No, I think it was the one.
Was it red? That was
Yeah,
the
it
one
was
that
red.
everybody. That's the one that everybody had.
Well, there was the plain red one, and then there was the red one with like the oval kind of
But yeah,
black button thing in the middle. That was the next one.
I don't know. I don't.
I also had a pod. Oh,
I said
God, what
X
was it? Live
XT.
Yeah. Thank you, Cushman. And then I had the XT Live. What a doorstop that was. I really liked my Pod Pro, the original 2.0. I did a lot of sessions with that, and it was one of those things where I remember the first time I took it, I was like, I couldn't stop myself from taking an amp with me, and I was like, for fuck's sake, this is why you bought it, was to not take an amp. And the first session I used it on, like the guy just wanted a sort of, like 7 Mary 3 cumbersome, that kind of chopping power chords with muted strums in between. And as I was playing it, and I said, well, so I think it's just a Marshall. So I just put it to like the 800 setting on it.
Right.
And then as I was sort of saying to him, like, do you want a little more bottom end, a little more mid? In my brain, I was like, if you don't put that sound to tape, you're a moron. Like, it sounded incredible. Like, the way that you could hear the cab was ridiculous. And then the XT Live came out, and they got more worried about the bells and whistles than the meat and potatoes, and it sounded like poo. I took it for a session when I first got it, and I had to embarrassingly re-record the guitar parts when I got home at night with the old one. I had to apologize and say, look, as long as you like the parts, I'll redo the tones when I get home. It was that shit.
I know they did that thing with Bogner. That I don't know. That didn't go over.
Botched
The Alchemy?
abortion.
Yeah. And then they came out with the Helix and pretty much ruled the world for a while.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. I mean, there's so many contenders now, whether you're looking at Fractal or Line 6 or...
I hear Fractal's coming out with something new, but it's a smaller, no frills, something or the other.
Is that what it is? Something 4. I saw
Yeah.
a post on.
Yeah.
Helix pretty much made me almost want to quit guitar and just fucking.
Oh, that's right, because you had one and just didn't
I had
gel with it at all, did you?
I had the rack version, hated it. Fucking hated it.
Well,
You know it's gonna suck when your manual comes on a thumb drive. Like, oh fuck.
it just didn't like it. The sounds,
Right.
The sounds that it made, like the Helix. There was the Lone Star one, so that low gain Mesa thing that was kind of cool, and then they had I think a thing of the Friedman in there.
Yeah.
But what it sounded like and what it felt like,
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
I did not
See,
like
now-
it at all. I mean, look, I don't like the MX5 or my Digitech. It's fine for YouTube, but the Helix, I didn't fucking like the feel of it at all.
That was the biggest thing for me. is
Yeah.
the
See now,
pressing.
and it's in it because we've talked about this kind of stuff before, and remember how I was saying about how I didn't like the Kemper for that
Yeah.
exact reason. Like
Right.
you listen to somebody else playing like they've just done a profile for like a deluxe reverb or something,
Yep.
and you're listening to them play, and you listen to the real deluxe, and you listen to the mod, and you go, "Holy crap, it's
Yeah.
bang on!"
Yeah.
And then you play it, and you're like,
Yeah.
"It's not the same."
Yeah. It's like
Yeah,
playing
no.
a radio or something.
It's like
Yeah.
playing a wireless. I've never found well, I haven't used like the Metallica level wireless, but
But you know what? Some of the best wirelesses were the early ones that added compression, like the old
Everybody
Samsung
likes
ones
a bit
and
of
everything.
compression.
Yeah,
like the Nady 1200s, those
oh
were,
yeah, like those old '80s, early
those were
90s rigs.
okay, but yeah.
I never used wireless ever.
I used them back in the UK just purely because even if you were playing like a tiny little old pub, you never knew what quality the wiring was.
Right. Oh my god.
Because you know the
oh
building,
my god.
the building's 900 years old. So
It's so dirty and
when did the
yeah.
wiring go in? Like 1920. Has
And
it been
God,
upgraded?
the fucking ice maker kicks on.
Oh yeah, precisely. Or heaven forbid there's the there's a lightning strike nearby and everything shuts down. I had that happen. I had my rack absolutely wiped by a lightning strike.
Fuck.
All the memory went.
Yeah.
So I had to quickly program 3 patches and go, okay, let's carry on.
Every
Clean
time the bar owners would get mad because every time we would get on stage, the first thing we did is went around the stage and turned off all the neon, right?
Mm-hmm.
But still, we had old hard can 64s and my wireless, everything would be nice and quiet. As soon as the lights came on, and it's like, all right, forget, I'm done. I'm just done.
Yeah.
Remember those little EM filters you could get to plug
Yep.
your old Marshall into?
Mm-hmm.
That seemed to work okay.
Yeah. Well, and the little adapters that you could just lift the ground pin. Remember those?
Yeah, this one I had some guy. I had a JMP, and it was temperamental for noise.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy I bought it off of in Toronto. He electrician or something. He made one, and it was like a little wall wart.
Mm-hmm.
Into it. It
Yeah.
was.
Just filtered it. Yeah. Well, and that was the other thing with like I said, with the English pubs is like there was no such thing as like, the circuit breakers that we have now and that sort of stuff.
Oh,
so
God.
if you were plugged in and some clown spilt a beer into your pedalboard,
Yeah.
you were gonna get fried. Whether
Yeah,
you
you're
liked it or
like,
not.
let go.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
don't
the idea of not being plugged in was very preferable for doing those sort of shows.
Did the wireless take care of the old mic bite?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did that once where
Did you see the spark?
I saw blue flame come out
Yep.
of my mouth and dude, I was shaking for a while and so I would always do this. I'd hold it by the body and like touch my mic. If I saw little sparks, I'd be like, sound man, come here.
Yeah, I had
Reverse.
one where it's like I grabbed the mic stand and
Oh, God.
I felt my
Got lit
whole
up.
chest tighten. Luckily, I was able to let go, but it was like shit. Yeah,
Yeah, that's scary shit, man.
They've got that sorted now these days, don't they?
I don't know.
mostly.
Yeah.
I mean, you can bypass it, John. Come on.
I don't know.
Let me-
It was the same thing. You go into a bar and you do a sound check and get bit, and it's like,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
fucker.
Hey, Steve, let me ask you a question. I don't know if
You gonna ask me a question?
Yeah, like back in the day, like in the '60s, I'd see like the Stones or Ozzy.
Back when you were in your 20s.
Yes,
Well, they would
he's older than me. Don't forget that, John. Right?
Yeah.
the singers would use 2 microphones. Why?
Because
Was it left and right? They didn't have stereo left and right, or
No, it wasn't stereo. It was just like 2 PAs.
right? Okay.
Yeah. I will, Randy. I will. I'll chainsaw him an answer. I have a glass of water and chainsaw you an answer.
But it was pretty much just a vocal PA. What? How did they do the fucking drums?
Well, you got to remember, like that's why backline was what it was in the late '60s, early '70s, because the PAs couldn't handle everything.
Right.
So they could do the vocals, they could do the drums.
Okay.
But as far as instruments were concerned, you're on your own.
You just needed that 812 and a couple of 400 watt.
You just needed, like, look at Richie Blackmore. What was it? 4 Marshall Majors and
Pete
8
Townsend,
412s.
where did the 812 come from?
We're talking about that, yeah.
Well, that was the first cab that Marshall made was the 812, and then the roadies complained, so they cut it in half.
Yeah. But that was for Pete Townsend, wasn't it?
Yes, I think they made 2 of them for him or something, and then they complained and chopped it. Yeah.
Hey, girlfriend.
So you want to play something?
We could do that.
You want to do that Funkin' A or no?
Funkin' A?
Fucking A, man.
You Funkin' A.
I think I got it here.
You sure? We're going to go with your levels or with mine? What do you want to do?
Why don't you go with your level?
All right.
Eventually get around to doing that one that they were jamming over on Dave's channel. That B thing.
That one of mine?
Yeah.
I could edit it and
because you're playing all over it.
Yeah. But I could cut it down to just the
I quite like that
groove.
one. That was
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I don't know if I could actually play anything to it, but I figured it out by time because I was restringing.
But it is B minor. You're absolutely right.
I was I'm trying these string joy strings.
Yeah.
So it's,
Do I need to go to Google and pull up a fretboard thing? Oh, it's B minor. Okay.
No, no, we're not going to do it. Dave was playing a couple of my original tracks on his little, play whatever I want channel that he does kind of thing. What am I doing? Search. There we go. No, I'm in. Hang on a second. Sorry, dudes. Sorry.
hang on a check.
Yeah, John, I got this newfangled hippie guitar with the busted off headstock and
Yeah, it hasn't been that long, buddy.
Oh, okay.
Did you get the intonation done?
Yes, I did.
Excellent.
And I have not lost the little magnetic tuner
Oh,
thingamajigger.
right. Yeah. Are you enjoying that now?
If it had a Floyd in it, I would enjoy it a lot more.
Does that thing do a wiggly on the
No.
back? No?
No, nope, it's just a bridge.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Fixed
Yeah,
it.
no wiggly.
So you want to do something in B minor? I found one in B minor.
Woohoo!
Care.
I don't actually know what it means. It says smooth amber jazz backing.
But
track
let's
in B
all
minor.
make a deal.
Yeah.
This isn't a gig. So if it's a train wreck and it's totally fucking lame,
We'll kill it.
yeah.
Has John not seen us play, or what's the
Apparently not.
No, some of the tracks.
Oh,
That's okay. That'll be
for
good. That'll be
fuck's
good.
sake.
All right, here we go. Who's starting? Me? You? Who?
You can start. Yeah,
All right, then.
we'll let Bonzo start here. There.
Okay.
There's Bonzo.
Bonzo McBonzoson.
Let me mute my mic before Randy plays.
What key are we in? B minor?
B minor, yeah. I only went for it because you mentioned B minor, and so I thought I'd do it.
I guess that's it.
Yeah. That was some minor.
Minor.
It was bum.
I'm sorry, dude. I needed a Floyd. I had to grab that thing. I'm sorry, man.
Just after you get compliments about the headless knee.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I could snap the headstock off of that. It'd probably still stay in tune, you know.
Yeah.
Probably.
John, is that the FM3 or 9?
It is.
That's just it. It's just. What does it feel like in that? You know, in the hands.
It's the best modeler I've ever played.
Really?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, for what it is. I mean, I think for me, it's the best one for what I need. But it's nothing compared to.
Yeah. Yeah. Moving air.
Yeah. D minor.
The loneliest key of all?
It's the saddest key.
Saddest key.
Is that right there?
It's
Right
like
there?
a mix between like
Somewhere?
Mozart and Bach. It's like Mach.
Bach.
And you remember what it's called, right?
D minor?
Lick My Love Pump?
That's the one.
This one's called Lick My Love Pump.
Yeah, it's the saddest key.
I've never played one of those with the enduro neck. I don't think I would like it because I'm not thumb always in the back of the neck type of guy.
Well, let me tell you, I've set up a few. I cannot stand it.
They
They've got there's a flat
Yeah.
layer in the back of the neck, and it corkscrews, like it goes around the neck. Now, I've tried it. It's like, well, I see a lot of guys playing them up here. So I was like, no, I just hate it. Like, it just feels so. If I was to buy a Strandberg, I'd have to take a sander to it and fix the shape of the neck. It's so weird.
Well,
I know other people that absolutely adore them, but it's like, oh, it's not for me.
yeah, and you got to play them up here when you're standing up. I
Well,
can't
yeah,
do
and
that.
I tried it, cock rock. I tried it up here, it's just, I didn't like it, anything.
Fucking
Think about it,
hippies.
man. You've been playing standard shaped guitar.
Been playing
necks
proper
for
guitars for
40
too long.
fucking
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
It's like, what is this?
You young kids with your wireless
Newfangled
telephone
ideas.
and your shoes with the roller skates and your
And the
enduro nets
the
and
laces you don't have to do up, so you don't need to learn to tie bows.
your Velcro.
It's hilarious. You listen. What the hell's the guy with the fucking neck tattoos all the way up to here?
Oh,
Kid.
the
Polyphia?
Polyphia knee, polyphony guy.
Tim
Tim
Henson. Yeah.
Tim Henson.
Yeah. It seemed to have almost peaked and on its way out already. The math rocky kind of thing.
Right.
The super technical, super precise stuff. Yeah, it's people like some
Evolving at a
sloppy, sleazy rock and roll, right? It's yeah. For you, Tyler, I think it sucks.
Yeah.
I think it's uncomfortable.
That thing corkscrews like a pig's cock.
Yeah. I thought it was cats that had, or ducks, cats or ducks that have the
I don't know.
corkscrew. But
Well,
no,
look, wait.
I
Tyler,
found it actually hurt my thumb. That's what I found.
Tyler, together, I think we're 150 years old, so it's okay.
Probably more than close to 180.
Yeah.
Because what are you,
Will you
Quentin?
help me change my sack?
Are you 60?
I don't know what happened. I mean, even my older brother, I'm the baby of the family, and they're not even 60. I don't know how that works, but yeah.
So how old are you?
March 3rd, I turned 60.
Okay.
How did that even happen?
So I'm like 9 months behind you. I turned 60 in January.
Yeah, you're a youngster.
Yeah. And how old are you, John?
52.
Holy fuck.
Okay, so but between the three of us, yeah, we are 170 years of cranky old bastard. There you go. So yeah, I don't care for your stupid corkscrew necks.
That's right, and your broken off headstock.
Yeah, it's garbage.
Young
Garbage.
bastard.
Give me a Stradivarius any day. Yeah.
Yep.
He's probably young enough. I'm okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, D minor.
Oh yeah, that's right. We can do. Oh shit, this thing's halfway over. Hang on. Here we go.
All right, let me mute my mic, or John will tell me to shut the fuck up when.
It's not me. That's Randy that does that all the time.
Yeah, my noisy old wah-wah pedal.
Needs a little of the deoxid or some shit in there, yeah?
No, it's one of the Morley optical ones. It just needs to be replaced. It's not like it's got a pot in it or anything, so there you go.
Tasty stuff there, man.
Likewise, dude. Likewise. Why am I on the big screen? What's going on?
Because fucking Clinton had a heart attack or something.
Oh, he's having a bladder break again, I bet you. If he didn't drink so much Folgers and vodka or whatever it is,
Don't they call that a comfort break?
Should we do that? Call it a comfort break? Oh, what happened there? I didn't touch nothing.
Wasn't me.
Nope. All right, I'm gonna have to call it quits, guys. I'm feeling like it's been a long day, and it has been a long day.
That happens.
Yeah. I went and did my civic duty though. I went and voted today.
For you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in Kentucky. I voted yesterday. Today I'll vote 2 times tomorrow. And
No, that's Florida, isn't it?
okay, John, who you voting for? I'm not saying.
Which country? Like,
Oh, you're in Canada.
Yeah, no, we have different ones. Sorry.
You have a different disaster. You have a different.
Oh yeah, they're all disasters. They're just different flavors, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Same shit, different pile, basically.
Mm-hmm. As a professional armchair anarchist, I can clearly state that whoever you vote for, the government wins.
Well,
Yes.
I really don't like the Donald, but I do have to say this. When he was president, our economy was kind of pretty good. I'm just saying. I don't know. The source says Donald won't win. Yeah.
Like the ketchup.
Yeah.
I don't know. He shot himself in the face once, and
Well, see, this is the thing. I do enjoy the assassination attempts because, like, the second one really had both of my eyebrows going up and down because it was
it's like
supposed
the old Mick or Looney Tunes thing where you see the barrel come through.
Oh yeah, out of the bush. But the thing was, it was supposedly an impromptu golf game, like spur of the moment. Let's go play golf. The guy that took the shot was so encamped and set up. He must have been there for hours.
He never shot though.
Well,
And
whoever
it was like
Yeah.
it was like 300 meters, 300 yards.
Yeah, but the
with
thing
an
is, for
AK,
him to
with
have-
an AK,
Yeah.
that couldn't shoot 50
No.
yards straight.
No.
Right.
But here's the thing: for him to have just been there,
Yeah,
set up, there was no way that there wasn't some sort of setup because he shouldn't have been able to be there in time.
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
All that, it's to me, it's like Canadian politics with the magnifying glass on it, right? It's, I mean, both sides up here. I mean, either way you look at it, it's which poison, and one poison's been in for fucking 9 years.
Well, and you know what? I've heard so many people, talking about elections that are coming up,
Yeah,
and they're like, "Well, I think I'm going to vote for so and so because it's the lesser of two evils." And I just look at them and go, "Wouldn't it be nice if we could vote for no evil?"
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Like, God. Yeah.
It's like Kamal.
by the time you get to that point, though, you cannot not be evil because of the lobbying and the fucking.
Well, here's I'm
favors.
going to say this in a public forum now, so somebody's going to probably steal my idea. I mean, probably all 3.5 people that are watching this are going to steal this idea. I think public office should be like jury duty. You should only be allowed to be in public office if you don't want to be.
Yeah, fuck.
Do you know what I mean? Like, the only people who can be on a jury are those people who know nothing about the case, have not read a newspaper in 40 years, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The only way you should be in public office is if you have no axe to grind, no angle to work, no nothing, and you don't want to be there. And the only way to get out of the job after 4 years is to have done a good job.
Yeah.
The only
What?
voting involved is whether or not you did a good enough job to be released from your term.
Why do you spend millions of dollars to land a gig that's going to pay $150K?
Because
Oh,
it's
come
not
on.
about what it pays. Trudeau has increased his personal wealth by 450 million while he's been earning 27,000 a year. It's quite
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, that's a good investment.
Yeah.
All right,
He
kids.
just must know the right lottery numbers to pick or something. That's the only thing I can assume.
I got
Yeah.
nothing
Yeah,
good to
yeah,
say
I
about
got-
that guy, so I won't say
No.
anything.
I got nothing.
Fuck him.
But his dad was nice. I liked Fidel.
Yes. Yes. And his uncle Adolf. Yeah.
Oh God.
Or who was the guy in Iraq that had Uday, Kusay, and Yabba Dabba Dooday as a kid?
Sadame.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, I'm going to remember to disconnect from this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna-
I'm just
I'm
gonna say I see you right there, so disconnect and
I
John,
feel
thanks
fine.
for coming.